morning, friends. CIT appeals at times dismiss the appeal on a ground of failure on the part of the assessee to comply with the requirement of section 249 subsection 4 clause B, which makes it mandatory on the part of the assessee to pay an amount equal to the advance tax that he would have been liable to pay in a case where he has not filed return of income. The problem precisely arises in a case where, let's say, a huge amount is being added on account of cash deposit in a bank account under section 68. I might have sold a piece of land which is an agricultural land according to me, but then I failed to file return of income, and as a matter of fact it has been added. Assessment is completed under section 144 read with section 147, and now when I file an appeal, this appeal is being dismissed on the ground of failure to comply with the requirement of section 249 4B. In this video we are going to discuss few judgments where a view has been taken that if assessee is in a position to demonstrate that he was not supposed to pay the amount of advance tax, in that circumstances, the CIT appeal should not have dismissed the appeals on the technical lapse, but they should have rather adjudicated the matter on merits, and the case is set aside on the file of CIT appeals. Let me first deal with the case of Honorable Amritsar Tribunal. What has happened in this case was, assessee had salary income and assessee had some income on account of sale of an agricultural land. The assessee probably did not file return of income. Assessment is completed under section 144. The appeal was dismissed on account of failure to comply with section 249 4B notice. Before the ITAT, the assessee could prima facie establish that his salary income is lower than basic exemption limit, and based on the report of registered valuer, it was also observed that the land which has been sold by the assessee is an agricultural land. Keeping that in mind, the Honorable Amritsar Tribunal took a view that the CIT appeal should not have invoked section 249 4B. Let me also take you to one Surat ITAT decision. What has happened in this case was, assessee from day one was claiming that the income which has been deposited into the bank account is an agricultural income. He is an agriculturalist. Assessment completed under section 144. The same issue of dismissal of appeal invoking section 249 4B, and the Honorable Surat Tribunal again observed that since assessee is an agriculturalist and assessee is not supposed to file return of income because the agricultural income is exempt from tax, dismissal of the appeal in view of section 249 4B was not justified. Even in Pune ITAT, when the assessee could establish that he had actually made a loss, and in case of a loss there was no requirement to file a return of income. I agree that if you don't file a return of income, the loss will not be allowed to be carried forward. But then the assessee is ready to take up that particular damage. In that particular case, there was no requirement to file the return of income, and since there was no requirement of filing return of income, invoking section 249 4B by CIT appeal once again held to be not justified. There is one more Surat Tribunal judgment where a huge addition was made under section 68. The assessee before ITAT or took a stand that in view of section 10 clause 25 subclause 2, the income of the assessee is exempt, and the assessing officer should have ideally checked it before making an assessment under 144. Since the income itself is exempt, there is no question that the assessee was anyway supposed to pay any amount as an advance tax. And if that be the case, 249 4B should not have been invoked. We have an Ahmedabad ITAT judgment, a well reasoned order wherein also a lot of judgments have been followed, and it is held that the assessee has sold a piece of a land which according to the assessee is an agricultural land. When assessee has sold an agricultural land, in that particular circumstances the requirement of section 249 4b does not arise, because if it is an rural agricultural land, the payment of tax per se does not arise. The Ahmedabad ITAT has followed a lot of other benches judgment and have taken a view that CIT appeal should not have invoked section 249 4b. I hope that these judgments would come to your rescue. My submission and request to you all is, when you file an appeal, the best course of action should be to file a separate application. But if application is not filed, at least in the statement of facts, one para may be added, so that we may have a better case if at all CIT appeal proceeds and dismisses the same on a technical count. I hope this would be beneficial to a lot of assessors, and with this note, I take a leave of yours for today. We'll see you soon in the next video. Till then, please take good care of yourself. Thank you.